Hello, sweet viewers. 안녕. That means hi in Korean. I'm Christine from Kimbap TV, empowering you to live a happier and safer life, especially if you're a fellow domestic violence survivor. Well, how has 2020 been for you? For me, it's been unforgettable. This was a year of big changes and a year of resilience. In this video, I want to take a walk down memory lane and take a few minutes to reflect on some key moments that helped me to grow both personally and professionally. So let's get started. This year started out with a very sad goodbye. On January 8th, 2020, my 할머니 or grandma passed away. She was the matriarch of our family. She had Alzheimer's, and parts of her started to fade away over the recent years. But with this disease, she also gained a childlike innocence, smiling more than she used to and delighting in simple moments as if she was experiencing them for the first time. One of the things my grandma loved the most was her tabang coffee, or pre-mixed instant coffee that's really sweet. It reminded her of South Korea. One of the last memories I have of 할머니 is when I brought tabang coffee to her nursing home. She forgot how to drink, so I soaked up some coffee into these swabs that looked like styrofoam lollipops, and I pressed it inside her mouth. She lit up when she tasted the sweet drink, and although she couldn't remember how to speak, she just looked so happy. The most important thing I learned during my time with grandma this year was to savor every sweet little moment I have with those I love. This lesson came in very handy when COVID-19 took over the world. In March, I was traveling to New York City and the Czech Republic when the coronavirus cases started to pick up. Our family and friends called and texted one night and told us we needed to leave Prague right away. A travel ban had just been announced and it could have kept us from returning home if we didn't act immediately. So we rebooked our flights back home and rushed back to Torrance, quarantining afterwards for 2 full weeks. During this time in isolation, family came to drop off groceries and take out food. My mom just dropped off Tito's Tacos from Culver City, all meat burritos, one of my favorites. And my Aunt Jessica brought over a whole bag filled with goodies. Is this soft-boiled eggs? Uncle Harold made beef jerky, fish patties. Wow, this is kalbi. We also have miyeokguk, seaweed soup. I got so antsy because I hated being confined to my home. I miss being around people. I wanted to hug somebody other than my husband, and I wish I could go to the gym and release some stress at my workout classes. Seeing my neighborhood, my city, and my state shut down was quite traumatizing for me. Going to Costco for the first time after quarantining for weeks became a culture shock. I had a difficult time adjusting to the new normal, but over time I learned to live with it and eventually embrace my current reality. This pandemic taught me a valuable lesson on being kind. Wearing a mask felt burdensome and restricting, but now I happily do it to help protect my elderly neighbors when I see them during my morning walks. Social distancing felt rude initially. I found myself abruptly crossing the street when I saw people walking towards me as if I didn't like them. But now I know that those people know I'm doing this to keep them safe. And I make sure to smile and wave as I pass them by from several feet away. And while nothing can quite replace the joy I feel when I hug or spend time with my family and friends in close proximity, the coronavirus led me to express my love through carefully chosen words and thoughtful gift giving during birthdays and special holidays. COVID-19 also led me to connect with people in unexpected ways. My small business, Kimbap TV, was pretty much at a standstill. I had hoped to continue traveling the world and partnering with agencies and businesses to tell genuine stories about people from different destinations and help boost tourism in those areas. But now we were all stuck in our homes, living day to day and in constant fear of this invisible disease that's been ravaging countries worldwide. I could have sulked over the fact that my career trajectory as a travel journalist was on hold indefinitely because of this pandemic. But instead of feeling sorry for myself and grieving the loss of my dreams, I pivoted my business, focusing on helping others during this time of great need. I started checking in with past clients and even started reaching out to strangers in my neck of the woods, listening to their stories and offering my storytelling services to help them stay afloat during the most difficult chapter in many of their lives. I gave back without expectation of anything in return, creating more than 30 videos featuring authentic stories of how COVID-19 has impacted individuals, businesses, and nonprofits across the US. The result was priceless. Some of the stories I told are my favorite stories that I've ever told, despite the grim circumstances. And seeing the reactions from viewers, with many taking action to shop at the small businesses I featured or to share kind words of encouragement to the individuals I highlighted, meant so much. For example, this is a story I created for Keith Kimura, a golf professional who was laid off during COVID-19. He decided to take this opportunity to go all in on pursuing his dream as a small business owner. He loves woodworking and makes one-of-a-kind stands for musical instruments, smartphones, and tablets. His endearing personal story got thousands of views on my YouTube channel, but more importantly, it got him business, lots of it. He received so many orders for these stands that he invited me to make a follow-up video where he showed me an extra whiteboard he purchased to write down all of the requests from his new customers. Another story I really enjoyed filming was that of a boutique clothing store in Redondo Beach. I met Krushenka Ceballos the day I filmed this video about her small business. I was walking around Riviera Village determined to help one person that day through my storytelling efforts. She welcomed me into her store, which had just reopened after weeks of being closed due to the coronavirus. She opened up to me about her reality and her struggles. She also shared about her faith during these uncertain times and says she prayed throughout the day for guidance. Although her business was struggling, she worried more about her family and friends in Ecuador, where she said the situation was much worse. Krushenka's story was viewed hundreds of times and is one of my most commented videos on YouTube. A couple of weeks later, Krushenka wrote me, letting me know that she has had an amazing reaction from customers and from people in general. She invited me back to her store and gifted me a couple of outfits. The unexpected present meant so much because I know she was still struggling, but she wanted to do this for me. Up to now, I've been so focused on serving others that this random act of kindness was really appreciated. When I posted a picture wearing the dress Krushenka gave me on Instagram, the designer of the dress found me and hired me to model more clothes for them. This story taught me that a simple act of kindness comes back sometimes in ways I could have never imagined. And the final lesson I'm still in the process of learning this year is that of persevering as a domestic violence survivor. Throughout the pandemic, I've seen news reports of domestic violence cases going up as more families and individuals are locked up inside their homes and many people are losing their jobs. I asked myself how I could help other domestic violence survivors and their loved ones during this time, and I realized I could do the one thing I know well, telling stories. So, with the help of a grant from the Asian American Journalists Association's Los Angeles chapter, I launched a YouTube series that empowers others to live a happier and safer life after domestic violence. It's taken me years to get to this point, where I can take my first-hand experiences as a DV survivor and create resources with them. Making each video has become a therapeutic process for me. I'm healing more with each story I tell. And each comment I get encourages me to keep fighting this fight, to dispel people's fears and hesitations about addressing this sensitive topic. My work in this field has allowed me to cross paths again with nonprofits across the country. Korean American Family Services in LA, Can Win in Chicago, Ladder House Decor in Dallas, and Exhale to Inhale in New York, to name a few. I've also had the great privilege to speak about my experience and share some helpful tips in a live Zoom event organized by the Philippine Embassy in Washington, D.C. and the Filipino Young Leaders Program. Over the past 12 months, I've done what I can to help my neighbors, my fellow small businesses, and so many people who have been touched by domestic violence. I'm not sure exactly what the next year has in store for me, but knowing that I was able to do some good despite a global pandemic this year makes me hopeful that perhaps I can do even more in 2021. Thank you so much for watching my recap of 2020. Now, how about you? How did you pivot through the countless curveballs thrown your way during COVID-19? And how are you planning to make the best out of next year? Share your story with me by commenting below. And please be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification option so you can catch my future videos. Happy New Year to you, and I look forward to greeting you again in 2021. Bye.